Joining me, this will be a class using our therapy balls, rolling into the fascial lines to offer release. So these balls that I have been using are just lacrosse balls. Get them at your sporting goods store. They are the average lacrosse size ball. There's also different sizes you can get that come in lovely mesh bags. This is a local provider called Care Feathers. You can order off their website, carefeathers.ca. It's nice to have the mesh bag because you can get into some different rolling techniques using two balls that are already in the mesh. The roll model, which is found on tuneupfitness.com, these are much larger, so they spread the sensation out over more areas. So those might be nice to get into the larger muscle groups. And there's also a smaller size. So just so you know, if you are looking at getting yourself some therapy balls, that there are a few different types. Most of them are similar as far as like a lacrosse ball texture for firmness. You'll notice that if you feel sensation quite a lot, that maybe a softer, squishier style is good to start with. But these tend to be my favorite. They seem to be pretty much all purpose. So it's a good starting point, and if you want to add, then you can maybe look at some different sizes. Today, that's all we're gonna need. You can actually use tennis balls. They just have a different effect, and I find that often they don't last very long. They tend to pop. Most students will find that they'll pop during class. So ideally get yourself one of these. So have those handy. They love to roll around while we're doing our practice. So if you can keep them corralled somehow, and we'll begin by finding a straight, comfortable seat, however that looks in your body. See if you can connect your sit bones to the earth by making space with the fleshy bits and allowing the spine to be long. Drawing a nice nourishing breath in, releasing it fully out. Nowhere to be except for on your mat in this moment. Allow the mind to tether to the breath. As we set our intention for your practice today. And drawing a deep breath in. As you exhale, allow the chin to fall heavy down to the chest. As you exhale again, allow the head to fall even deeper. All the residual holding releases. Every breath out, head even heavier, full weight of the head. Drawing the right ear as it rolls to the right shoulder. Back down through center. Over to left. Down through center again. Do this in your own time, slowing it right down so you can feel each part of the neck, any tight spots hanging out in any place that's craving a little bit more attention. No need to rush it. Through center, we'll hang the head, chin to chest, full weight of the head. Inhaling, rising with the head. Exhale, turn to the right shoulder. Inhaling back to center. And exhaling over left shoulder. Back to center. We'll take a tilt, right ear to the right shoulder. Back. And left ear, left shoulder. And back. We'll begin by taking one of the therapy balls. And this is gonna depend on the pressure that you prefer, but I always like to recommend going a little lighter, working into the depth and also not working through pain. So if there's discomfort, it is definitely not a practice to breathe through the pain or more pain, more gain. It's not that. Please back out. We want to be gentle and kind to the body and create a lasting opening that you can do on the regular rather than one deep opening and have some repercussions from it. So I'm just going to be massaging into the upper pec muscle here, the pec major, just around where the collarbone is, just under that collarbone area. So strictly by rolling into this muscle, you may be able to find some muscles that hold some tightness there. Sometimes we don't realize it till we get into those spaces that we are feeling some tension or tightness there. We do find more often that the front body can have more of that tightened posture as we round, as we work at our desk, as we are on our screens, as we are driving, all the things where we are facing forward and we're working at reversing and opening. So one of the steps we can do is roll into these muscle groups here. So you can just play with a little bit of circular, you can go side to side. This is going to be more of an intuitive, what is working in this moment here. And one of the guidelines when you're doing some rolling work is never sharp, never pain of any type, especially sharp sensation. And if there tends to be a zinging or an electrical field, then you're likely on you're likely on a you want to come off of there so you can release and just get into the muscle group. Sorry, I got distracted because my buddy Jack came to join us. Hi, do you want to lay down? Anytime we do work on our mat, I find the animals are drawn, which is really nice to see. That's kind of a nice reminder that although we may not feel it, we are bringing our body more into that balance, our energy, and it's very welcoming for animals. So we're going to switch left hand now and roll into the right side here, just below the collarbone area, the upper pec, getting into just a little bit of the outer, and just discovering into that space here. Where is the tightness on this side? You're so silly. Having a set of these therapy balls in your desk at work, this can offer just a really nice pick-me-up during the day. Not only is it going to help release into the muscles, but just in this motion, we are bringing ourselves into that more relaxed state. A little bit of self-care, it doesn't take long. then we can begin to just play into the outer neck muscles here. Just nice and gentle. I'm gonna roll in here and just explore perhaps into the under jaw. These are spaces that we rarely give attention to in this way. If you hold tension in your jaw, maybe this is gonna offer some relief. So I'm just under the jaw. You can bring it all the way from under the ear to under the chin. You can even come up into the low cheek area. Just be curious. Where does that tension lie? If you find that you have tension headaches, maybe this is going to offer some relief in this area. So just in that side cheek, just in front of the ear, that can be another spot that we tend to hold tension along the cheek. And maybe just under the eye socket, all the way to the nose. I'm just going to let you explore. If anything, we're just giving ourselves this face massage, but all these muscles and fascial lines under here, there's busy holding tension, doing the work during the day. Just get a little bit of attention back here. You can use whichever hand seems to serve best. And we'll get into the left side here, starting along the neckline. Under jaw, all the way to the base of the ear, maybe just behind. And again, if there's that electrical zinging, you don't want to be on any nerves, but just exploring where is serving you today. And the lower cheek, just above the jawline. Front of the ear, maybe close to the temple area. Play with some circular or some straight motion. Get under the eye socket again. Center of the nose to the center of the forehead. Just a nice way to introduce these techniques. Okay. And then we get into the forearm here. Rolling along the right inside forearm. So I'm working from elbow to our wrist. And we're just gonna explore on the outer edge, in the center, and the inner edge. You may or may not feel some sensation there. Just gonna be curious what shows up. Sometimes you don't realize. You can even bring this into the outer edge of the hand, back of the hand, some circular motion, maybe into the outer thumb, the base of the thumb. This may take a little bit of getting used to and some coordination. If you're dropping ball and they're rolling, that's totally fine. But we're going to explore along the top of the forearm now. I'm just doing some circular movements, making my way up and down the forearm, inside, center, outside. And you can your way up to the shoulder and down. Just see. Everyone's going to experience this a little bit different. And then we'll bring this over into the left, working on the inside forearm. You may need to remove some jewelry if it's in the way. Just playing with some gentle pressure, using your body as your guide. Into the base of the thumb, back of the hand, outer edge of the palm, and the top of the forearm. Traveling the upper arm, it's interesting to know that we often don't realize that we're holding tightness in these areas until we release them. So whether or not this is causing sensation for you, it's just good to explore what's going on in those areas. And then as you're feeling complete, we will place those to the side as we don't want to roll around. And we're going to come up onto our feet. And let's just hold the balls in your hands so you have them. And I want you to plant your feet on your mat. Find your tall posture here. Feel nice and connected and rooted. Let's inhale, arms all the way to the sky. And exhale, let's fold forward. Allowing the body to be heavy here. No judgment, releasing expectation. Softness in the knees, whatever is serving you. Finding a nice deep breath, and as you release, the body lets go of its holding. Allow the head to be heavy. You can shake your head no. Shake it yes. Take a nice deep bend in the knees. Roll heavy through the spine, all the way to stand. Open the chest, come into your mountain pose. Okay, taking one of the balls, right foot is gonna roll into the center, so the arch of the right foot. We're getting a nice pressure. I'm stepping into the ball somewhat, but not to the point where I'm causing discomfort. I'm just feeling a pressure in there, depending what's going on in the feet. So we're just gonna take some gentle rolling motions in the arch of the foot, working your way from the instep through the center and to the outer edge and anywhere in those areas there. So just have a little bit of explore, see what's going on in the right foot. If it's a seasonal change of footwear, often some things might pop up in our feet because our Foundation has changed. The way that we hold our body can be affected. It's interesting to see what's going on with our feet at any given time. And when we roll into the fascial lines that are in the base of the feet, surprisingly or not, they are connected all the way up the back of the leg, across the glute major. There's this line that connects across and all the way down. When we offer some release through the feet, you may notice a little release into the legs, which we'll do in a moment. So we're gonna plant the ball of the foot down firm onto the ground. Bring the ball under the heel. Get a nice squish there as you're getting a little bit of roll from inside to out. And again, not to the point where it's too much pressure. We want to be about medium pressure for what feels comfortable, not to your maximum. Curious to see what's going on in the heel here. Perhaps there's some movement or perhaps some crunching sensation. Maybe there's nothing. Just notice what may or may not be going on. And then we'll plant the heel. Use all 5 toes to grip into the ball, like monkey toes. And then release that grip. We're going to press in from the ball of the big toe through the toe knuckles all the way to the pinky toe. And we're offering some opening through the metatarsal spaces as you bring the ball from big toe through to baby toe and back. That sensation of spaciousness, of opening there. And we're gonna see, some feet will do this, some will not, but if you can, plant most of your sole of your foot to the mat and get a good flex from the big toe, second toe against the ball. So we're getting that flexion into the toe space there, as if we were up against a wall with the big toe, baby toe. And then we're gonna bring that into the middle toes, and all the way to the pinky and fourth toes. And coming back into the sole of the foot, give yourself a good roll through any of those areas that are needing a little more attention. Don't forget the instep, the inside part of the foot. And as you feel complete, let's bring that over into our left foot. So in the left foot, we'll start again into the arch. And we may notice a difference from side to side as our dominant foot may take more of the work, or we may have a side that likes to compensate for the other side. Often there may be something different from side to side. So just discover what's going on here. We'll work all the way into the instep. Center of the foot, all the way to the outer. And if you're familiar with rolling with a foam roller, rolling with the therapy balls, very similar, and for different areas, you'll notice different ways of targeting. So they can work really nice together, and using the therapy balls can be a different sensation. You might be able to get into spaces in a way that you haven't with a foam roller. And it's just interesting to see if this is a good benefit for you, how it may be different. I find that for me, it's a more targeted release in some areas. So from here, let's plant the ball of the foot down and we'll get into the heel. So giving a nice pressure into the heel as we draw from the inside. all the way to the out. Making your way from side to side. And rolling your feet is something that I have really found beneficial. It may be something good in your routine. And I find something on the regular is, even just 5 minutes on the regular is so beneficial. So you could be doing this while you're brushing your teeth in the morning. You can keep a set by your bathroom sink. Just a little bit on the regular can really make a difference. And then we're going to plant the heel, bring the ball into the toes. All the toes are going to grip into the ball, and then release the grip as we work from the pinky all the way to the big toe. Again, in those metatarsal spaces, offering some opening, some spreading. And then planting the sole of the foot all the way to the ground and getting just the big toe, second toe up against the ball, that nice flexion again. Let's move that into the center toes and into the pinky, fourth toe. Okay, and back into the sole of the foot. Just have a little explore which areas would you like to give some more attention to before we complete here. And holding on to the ball here, I invite you to root your feet in here. Rise with all 10 toes. Feel that connection of the mat under the soles of your feet. A little party trick, see if you can lower one toe at a time, maybe down to your mat. A little bit of brain activity there. Standing tall, finding your root. Sensing in, maybe there's a sense of openness. Maybe you can detect some changes already. We'll take a breath in as we rise with our arms. As we exhale, let's take our forward fold here. Once again. Come into some nice deep breaths in. Full release out. Softness in the knee as you need. Just want you to be curious what you may sense. Maybe there's a difference already you can notice, maybe not. There's some studies done that after rolling our feet, that the forward fold can be softened. For some of them, it was a 4-inch difference. And not that that is the goal, but it was just fascinating to me that the tightness in our fascial lines can have that effect. So if you did notice a softening there, release, then maybe rolling into the feet area is part of your ongoing routine here. Take one more breath here. Release it out. Bend in the knees as we roll through the spine, all the way to stand. Okay, so next, I'm going to come down to the mat, onto your stomach. And I'm just going to show you where we're going to get into our quads. So using 2 balls at the same time, I'm going to place them in the middle of the quad, just above the knee. So we're not on bone, we're just above the knee. So this is going to look like coming down on your stomach. And placing the balls in the center. And I may have my head up so you can hear me properly, but just allow your head to be heavy. You can rest your forehead on stacked fists. Notice if there's some sensation here, and allow the breath to connect so it can soften. And there's benefit to being in stillness, into pinning into these areas, and as we release, the hydration floods into the muscles, into the fascial areas, so release can happen, but also movement can be beneficial. So it really is a preference. You can stay in stillness, or if you'd like to take a bit of sway to the hips, you'll notice how that changes the sensation into the quads. Alternatively, if you'd like the hips to stay still, you can take the heels and just allow the heels to windshield wiper. I'll offer a few different options, and you can explore, try them out, see what serves you here. I'm going to take just the right foot, rise with the right foot, and then a little windshield wiper with the right foot. And that brings the ball on the inside thigh. And as you windshield wiper the other way, into the outer thigh. So we're getting a different range here. You can play with that as well. Noticing where the breath is at. Keeping that lengthened breath in, lengthened breath out. Lowering the right foot, and let's get into the left. Same thing, some gentle windshield wiper, very slow. Breathing through sensation. And again, making sure we're not on bone, we're not on nerve. If there's discomfort other than sensation, then please adjust. And if at any time an area is just too tender, then please come off. So from here, we're gonna shuffle the body back just a little bit. And this brings the ball about mid-thigh. You may just want to adjust where they are so they're center. Allow the body to arrive here. And we're going to move through those same range of motions we just did. So you can play with a little bit of hip sway. You can take the feet into some windshield wipers. Toes are connected to the ground and the heels just move from side to side. And again, you can rise with the right leg, right foot, and take that into some windshield wiper motion. And explore the inner and outer thigh. And on the other side as well. Lowering your feet to the ground. We'll do that shuffle back in the body just a little more. And we're going to stop just before the groin muscle. You may have to adjust where they are, center. And again, you can offer that hip wiggle, a little sway to the hips. You can take both feet here and take them into some windshield wipers. Everyone's experiencing these differently, so just be curious which areas are enjoying the sensation, where you're getting the most release. A lot of people find quads to be tight and sometimes can be tricky to get into release. So perhaps this is offering some release here for you today. And feet come down to the mat. We'll release the balls, hold on to them so they don't go rolling. And we're just going to stack your hands and allow the forehead to connect to your forearms, and just allow the body to be. Connect into that breath. You can offer a little bit of wiggle into the hips. That can be a very nice reset for the nervous system here. And once you're feeling complete in stillness, and we will help yourself up. We're going to make our way onto our back. Show you the placement where we will be getting into. So into the rhomboids here, basically into the soft space between the shoulder blade and the spine. You're gonna lay on your back and have two balls in the same time, but they're not on the bone, they're in the muscle between the shoulder blade and the spine. So this may take a little bit of adjustment, but I think you'll know when you're there. They may actually feel a little on the annoying side. That's probably the space. So just check in. If there's pain, come out. That's not what we're going for. If there's numbness or tingling, you're on a nerve, so please come off and reset. Oops. If they want to slide, put them back in. And then I like to have a bend in my knees when we're doing this. Allow your body to be heavy as they lay back. Come into that breath. Give yourself a moment. Perhaps you need a little readjustment to get that right space. And you can stay exactly where you are, breathing here. That nice lengthened breath is your friend. Another option is to play with some arm movements, and it will change how you feel the sensation. So again, you can be curious if you take your arms overhead, reaching fingertips to the sky. And from here, reach the fingertips even further to the ceiling and then sink down. So we're rising about an inch and sinking down about an inch. And if you have the ball right in the space, you're probably going to feel a targeted release right into that space. If you're holding tightness there, you may not feel it, but we're working that area by rising with your fingers and lowering. And if at any time it feels too much or not your jam today, you can always remove them and come out. As long as there's no pain, you're breathing, you can stay through and play with some arm movements here. Another thing is take the palms facing each other and very slowly open the arms outward. Allow them to come close to the ground and then very slowly coming back up. You can play in that range. If you have long hair that likes to get in the way or a slippery top, you may have to readjust. Another thing is palms facing each other. We're going to take the thumbs overhead so slowly, closer to the ground. And back up. You can also turn palms outward and play with that. Perhaps that changes what you're feeling. Back up. Another thing is take a bend and hold alternate elbows. And then take the forearms to the forehead area. And back. Take the elbows to the left. Back through center and over to right. Good. Coming back through center. Another one you can try is taking arms to the ground in a cactus formation. So elbows are straight outward and your arms are bent with your hands in the region of your head. You can stay in stillness, or you can take forearms together over your body, elbows almost to touch, and back. These are just all options. You're welcome to explore any of those that we did, work in some of those ranges, and just be curious what's going on here. Always checking in with the breath. If it becomes short, always offering some slow length and breath. Even coming into your ujjayi breath, that constriction to the back of the throat. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. And you're welcome to explore if this is serving you, play around in some of these arm movements, or if you're in stillness and this is still serving you. If you're ready to come out, you can remove both of the balls and allow the back body just to connect down. Nice cleansing breath. Noticing what you may feel. Take one more deep, full breath. Open the mouth and sigh it out. Next, we'll get into our glutes. So keeping your knees bent right where they are, we're going to press in, rise in the hips. We're going to place both balls under the bottom, center of each glute, and lower the hips down. So you can explore the center of the glute. You may want to just position them a little wider, a little higher. There's different sensations if you want to see what's best for you today. And I like to play with a little bit of movement. You're welcome to stay in stillness. But if you'd like to take some windshield wipers, nice and slow. Notice when you come over to the side how that may change sensation. You can hang out if that's feeling good. Connecting with your breath. You can take the left foot, cross it over the right knee as you come into that figure 4. Left knee presses away from the body. We'll say hello to the left glute. And you can take this into a little bit of rock. Always working within your range of motion and not going past that threshold. Switching, taking the right foot across the left knee, saying hello to the right glute. Offering that length and breath. Just like we were rolling into the feet to offer some release into the low body, so does the glute work. And if you are feeling sensation here, then you may notice a difference when we're complete. Releasing into the low body, into the hips, into the low legs. Back to the mat. We'll take your feet wider than the mat so they come off the mat. And take the left knee and allow the left knee to fall inwards towards the mat. And where do you feel this? Do you feel the difference? Send your breath. Knee comes up. Allow the right knee to fall inward. And connecting to that length and breath, allow the gripping to soften. Rise with the knees. knees. And then allow both knees to fall inward. Getting that internal rotation on both hips. Back to center. You can take some final windshield wipers. Maybe you want to take your feet up to the ceiling and explore a little bit of side to side wipers, maybe. Hugging the knees into chest. And while you're here, you can remove those balls from the glutes and allow your feet to stretch out long. Take up some space. Walk the shoulders under the body. Lengthen the legs. Welcome a full deep breath in. As you exhale, eyes softly close in their sockets. Sensing into the body. Notice where softness is now taking over. Allow the breath to wash away any residual tension. Full body breath here. Open the mouth, release it all. Bend in the knees as you plant your feet. Guide yourself onto your left side body. Up to the seated position as we close our practice. Thank you for spending your time with me today, closing our practice, taking our bow. Namaste.